Okay, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some elk calls, something I've used in the last couple years, some I've used for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm still using. So first off, I'm going to try to break this up into a couple different categories. First off, up top I have the Rocky Mountain Game Calls Bull Series. Then I have the native game calls, which these ones are native by Carlton, made here in Colorado. And then all of these down here are Rocky Mountain game calls, just unique ones I found and was like, I'm gonna give her a try. This one's the Elk 101, it's the beginner series. And then the Fallen Outdoors, they made this one. This is, I think their September is what it's called. So I'm just gonna go through, kind of tell you a little bit what I think about each one, and then at the end I'll make some sounds with each. So the Bull, I like the Bull. I think they're really good. This one's probably my go-tos. Used it a ton last year, so I ended up buying another one. Great call. It's just, this one's gonna give you more of an aggressive pitch. And for myself, I think it did better with locator bugles with this guy. Now, each one of these is just gonna give you a little bit of a different tone because the latex and the hood is a little bit different on each one, you can tell. Now, next, segueing down, these are some older ones I just used to play around with, mess around at the house, make the dogs mad, you know, the typical stuff. So these are okay. I just can't get good tones with them, so I really don't take those hunting. This one I just bought, I'm just trying to play around with a little bit. It's supposed to give you a little bit more of aggressive tone, but I don't get that much aggression with this one compared to like the native game calls. So, I'm gonna wait to save this one for the end, but the Born to Raise calls, I really like the way it feels. It's kind of a smoother feel to it. I think it's made very well. I get amazing cow calls out of this. I do not get great bugles, locator bugles, anything like that. It chuckles, but I think it's a good call. I think I just need to play with it a little bit more. And then that brings me to this guy, the Elk 101. So this is the basic learner elk call from Elk 101. This is the one that you basically start with if you want to learn how to use a diaphragm. Now, I think this is an amazing call, and it is a really nice call. The thing I don't like about these calls is if you look at them, they're kind of rough. It looks like they're almost made out of like the athletic tape material. So what 2 years ago, I had a bull bugling for about an hour, and having this in my mouth for an hour trying to get that bull heated up and aggressive, it's just the taste of the latex and the frame just rubbed the top of my palate raw, and it just actually made me sick because of, I don't know what it's made out of, but like the adhesive or whatever, but it just kind of like messed me up. So this is my second one I bought from them because I did do really great with it. It does make fantastic sounds. I think that is the biggest issue with it. It's just this frame is just super rough. Kind of beats your mouth up a little bit, especially if you're having like a lot of calling on a bull that's kind of hung up. I think it's a little rough, but for locator bugles, I think it does fantastic. And I think it's a good call all around, but it's just, like I said, this frame sucks. So that brings me into these bull. So you got the hood on this thing. I like it. It's once again same fabric as which the Elk 101 and the rest of the Rocky Mountain game calls are made out of, because once again it's a Rocky Mountain game call. I just like this signature series. It fits my mouth very well and it sounds fantastic. I can make the best sounds I think with this guy right now. This is I used the other one so much I ended up ripping out the latex and I went and bought another one. So this signature series I will once again be taking out to the mountains with me. Great call. Now, segueing over to the native game call. So I'm a little biased towards these guys just because they're made here in Colorado. Now, I do like the hood because I can get a little bit of airflow over the top because it's not a full hood like you have here. And it just sounds really good. I haven't played with them. They actually say that this guy is supposed to be for experts, and I can see that. It's a little bit harder to play with, but I do get fantastic sounds out of it. So I'm eager to try these more and more and get better with them so I can take these in the elk woods this year. I think these are gonna be extraordinary. I think the big 6 that I'm gonna carry with me are these 6 here for the variety I can get out of them. But I really like the native game calls. The big difference you're gonna see is it's like a smooth frame. So this material I think is just a little bit better. It's nicer than when you're going against something like this, the harder texture. I don't know, each one of these is just, they're all from the Rip It series. They just give you, I think, a little bit better tone, and they fit your mouth better, just because, once again, this frame is just made, I think, a lot better material. So I think these will be more enjoyable for like longer hunts and getting after it. They are a little bit more expensive. They're about 14, 15 bucks compared to this guy, which you can find anywhere from 8 to 10. So yeah, you're spending a little bit more money, but I think that, one, it comes with this neat little case that you can just throw around if you needed to, throw in a pocket real quick. And two, I just really like how it feels when it's in your mouth. It's just, it helps get a more crisp call, I think. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. And so these guys, these are just a couple little cow calls I picked up. Phelps, I really like that Phelps call. I used it last year. It's great for real quick getting out a couple cow calls if you either get too close and you bust him out and you're trying to get him to stop, or you're trying to get a bull to come in. Just little soft cow calls. It's a great call. Now the bull one I actually bought because I like the bull series of diaphragm calls so much. Now that call I did not get to use during archery season, but late rifle season I actually spooked up 2 bulls that were just moving through, and I stopped them dead in their tracks from about 400 yards away with that thing. They stopped, gave a good couple cow calls, and they stopped right in their tracks, turned around. One actually stomped his foot and came back down the mountain towards me. I had a cow tag, otherwise I would have taken that bull. But both I think are really great. I'm going to get a little bit more time with them this year. So then moving on to both my tubes. So this is your basic Rocky Mountain bugle tube. Now there's nothing really fancy with this thing. It's just a solid open tube. As you can see, I got some milk blood on it. It's a great tube. I just bought it as like a beginner. Used it for about 5 years and I really like it. So this year I just thought, screw it, let's try out another one. So this one's got a little bit bigger mouthpiece on it that clips on and off. And then it's kind of hard to see, but right in the center in here, you have a spring in there. And I think that's supposed to help with a little bit with the baffling. And then in the bottom down here, you can actually see the mouth where it's rubber folds over a little bit better than what you would have with your traditional one. Okay, so this one's just plastic, and then this has got that rubber. Now what I don't like about it is, once again, it does a weird echo when you tap it sometimes. Do I think I'm gonna get better tones out of it? Probably, but it's just